Welcome to the Let's Feed African. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because it's the best way to make sure you never miss any laughters or news updates. And honestly, it's the cheapest form of therapist right now, because the economy is trying to screw all of us with the no lunch, no breakfast, and definitely with the no lubrication. Oh, that's rough. And let me try to explain to you Africa's economic status the best way we can all understand, or the best way it can make sense to all of us.
Here.
Dude, fuck! Wait, oh. Loser! No!
Yeah, I feel real bad for that kid with baseball bat. But the rest can all go and fuck themselves up like what the economy is doing to our paychecks. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about a controversial topic. But first, let me ask you this one question. As a parent, if your kid pours down a cup of tea, beans, or maybe a cup of porridge in a living room, or maybe in a kitchen, and then decides to run away, while you're watching all this like it's an Olympic sprint, what would you do? A, watch and do nothing. Or B, do it by yourself while cussing under your breath. Or C, tell the kid to clean it up like a responsible adult in training. Yeah, I know a good parent will choose C, but an African politician, will pick A and then blame the West for the mess. Anyway, enough with the parental tips. This is not the real households of Africa. Let's dive into tonight's main story. Tonight we're talking about Pan-Africanism. Yeah, I love the concept. Africa depending 100% on itself, that is sexy. That's Beyonce level self-love. I personally hate begging, because you never know what you will get. Help, humiliation, or maybe a malaria with a follow-up loan. You don't know. But here's the twist. These rich Pan-Africanists are acting like Africa was always for sale, but they just don't want the old customer, the West, anymore. Yeah. Now they want a new buyer. Yeah, like that guy who just broke up with the toxic ex and then immediately starts dating someone worse, just with the new Wi-Fi. Apparently China and Russia are now in friend zone with Africa, waiting for minerals like it's a sugar daddy Tinder date. That's crazy. And I get it. Africa has the history with the West. They caused a lot of damages, like a drunkard ex who crashed your car and then comes back with the flower and the church invitation. Like nothing happened. Oh, like he changed. Yeah. But they did try to fix things up, abolish slavery, introduce some infrastructure, and introduced healthcare and religion. And yes, some Pan-Africanist thing, religion was the ultimate control tool. They still don't like the idea up to now. But listen, if malplacement tells me to love my neighbor, to help the needy, or to feed the poor, I'm in. Maybe the problem is with our system. Have you seen our pastors lately? Honestly, if the pastors could stop shouting and focus on doing the real Jesus stuff, we would be okay. But the way they have, started performing lately, It's like they're just one miracle away from starting OnlyFans. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Burkina Faso. The president Ibrahim Traore, some call him the Lion of Africa. Yeah, cool nickname. Sounds like he should be fighting the Thanos, not just the French. Yeah, he is pushing to reclaim Burkina Faso's minerals. Yeah, and Pan-Africanists everywhere are celebrating and cheering him. China and Russia, surprisingly, for unrelated reason, are celebrating too, are clapping. Yeah, they're like, yes, yes, yeah, new oxen, who this? Now, Ibrahim Traore is a bold leader, and no doubt. But here's my concern. You know, while the rest of Africa is throwing digital, confetti, the actual Burkinabes are sacrificing stuff they were not ready to give up. Yeah, it's like what's happening to US. Out of pride of not wanting to be ruled by, a woman, they voted Donald Trump. Now he's screwing everything up like like that. Yeah. And Africa is gifted with a lot of things. A lot of beautiful things, like beautiful people, beautiful landscape, beautiful wildlife. And do you know what else Africa has too much of? The pride. We have too much pride. A very dangerous form of pride. The one that kills. Yeah. Because if we turn that thing a little bit down, things would actually be, I think, better. Yeah. Yeah. And another thing. China and Russia have one thing in common with these Pan-Africanists. Yeah, they all blame the West for their own problems. Acting like, a spoiled last kid, And I'm an African and I'm proud to be Africans, but, if you always blame someone else for your own mistakes, for your own problems, you will never learn to solve your own problems. And that's the truth. Yeah, and if we just stop blaming the West for whatever is happening, and we think because China and Russia, they think that they're going to help us. We all know these are politicians who have their own personal interests. Yeah, it's like breaking up with one toxic boyfriend and then date two worst ones. Two. We are going to be torn apart. I don't know how this is going to end, but here's the thing. Africa has always been the land of resilience. We joke, we struggle, we shout at our politicians, but somehow we still find a reason to laugh. And that is power. That is unity. And that is hope. So whether you believe in Pan-Africanism, the Western Edge, or surviving until next Friday, just remember, Africa is still full of people who still show up, who still dreams, and who still dances even when the electricity is off. Yeah, so keep your heads up. And remember, no matter what happens, don't forget to subscribe to the Let Feed Africa with Drapari Gilbert. And crafters might not fix the economy, but it's sure as hell help us survive the economy. Take care, and I love you.